All right, and we are back with another episode of The Buzz. I'm your host, Sherwin, with Gospel Music Buzz. Follow us, Gospel Music Buzz, on all social media platforms. The season is already off to a great start, and today's no difference. Today, we're joined by Grammy-winning, multi-platinum selling songwriter, performer, and recording artist, Dante Bowe. Dante, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey man, thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm great, man. I know there's a whole lot you got going on right now. I can't wait to get into some of that. And, before we even start, I have to, tell my quick little Dante story. I think the first time we met, it might have been probably back in about 2012, maybe 2013. My wife was singing at an event that you were at out in Atlanta. You were there with Eddie James and everyone else.
Oh, wow.
Atlanta way back then. And that's the first time I saw you. We've always loved your music, always supported you since then. So, getting to speak to you now, super hyped, super excited about that. So
Full circle moment for sure.
exactly. Now, in terms of before we jump into the single and all of that, I've been hearing some rumors about the album. I'll have you confirm if there is an album coming or not. I'll have you, kind of set all those records straight. I know there's Grammy season and all of that upon us, but I want to just start by saying, congratulations to you on just navigating life in just general. I know you've dealt with a lot in the past, from trauma to homelessness to so much other stuff and all of that in between, but yet still, you're showing up every day, like almost like the phoenix from the ashes, you just keep rising. Or like even Maya Angelou, right? Still I rise, right? And you just keep going and going. And congratulations to you on that. Let's just start with that and go forward from there.
Thank you so much. God is good. God is faithful.
Yeah. Indeed he is. And the new single out right now, Hide Me. Now, love the song, love it, love the visuals, even the drop with the visuals in Times Square. I wish I knew it was happening that day. I would have been outside in the cold celebrating it. But, sure. Nonetheless, the new singles, tell us, what is the inspiration behind the new single? For anyone that is listening to it, what do you want them to take away from it?
Yeah, the inspiration, obviously came when, I went on a pause, and then I had these 3 months off, and me and my team, my new team that I have now, TrueMusic, and my producer, John, we were in Dallas, Texas, just wanting to dream with God and create something really, really cool. I never stopped working. I always stayed faithful to the call of my life, no matter what, things that like robot blocks and things that would get in the way. I always stayed focused on the call in and of itself. And so John was making all these beats. And I remember this one beat he started making, it was just, and I pulled out, I went on my phone and I started looking up these scriptures. And one of the scriptures just talking about being under the shadow of the Almighty. Just talking about the protection of God on our lives. It's our inheritance. And so I decided to just sing about it. And we sang over and over in the chorus, hide me, hide me, hide me, hide me. And decided to name it that and stick to the theme. And ultimately, it was a labor of love. And we created it out of just wanting to come together and make something fun, energetic. It wasn't a lot of brain power. We were having the time of our lives. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, man, I think we definitely need a whole lot more of those moments, because we're truly enjoying it right now for sure. And, and I wanted to also kind of even, I guess, step back slightly, because you were also just recently honored in your hometown, right? January 14th, we have a Dante Bowe Day out here. So how awesome was that to be honored in your hometown around families, friends, and all that? What was that moment like?
It was definitely a full circle moment, because you were raised there. Everything came from this place, this small place that you never thought would even matter. You know what I mean? And sing back and sing everything. It was so nostalgic. And also just everything that I've gone through there, it just felt worth it, because God chose to elevate me in this way and promote me in this way. And have my own day in my hometown now.
Wow.
It's a surreal moment for sure, a culture shock, but I just, took it as God showing me how far I've come. More than it being an accolade,
Yeah.
it was a token of like, look how far you've come. The place that taught you everything, and also the place that gave you a lot of trauma, now where it's honoring you. And so,
Wow.
yeah, it felt really, really good.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I was looking back upon it when we were getting ready for the interview, and I was like, man, that must have just been such a great opportunity. Like you said, full circle just to experience that. And the new single, Hide Me, right now, you've been performing it already on the big stage. There's the video up there. I see you dancing with the team and everything. Just enjoy yourself.
Yes.
We're loving all of it. But you also sang it in an intimate setting when you were out in Paris for Fashion Week. So, we want to get into all the fashion stuff as well, too. So, we've seen some of the looks out there. So how long now have you just been, I guess, intrigued with fashion and kind of started to immerse yourself within the fashion culture itself?
Yes, I've always loved fashion. Just being an African American, culturally, we have always been very particular about what we wore and what our children wore, and we always wanted to present ourselves well, as a culture. And I feel like my dad was one of the first men I ever see put the creases in his jeans, and he had his Timberland super crispy and his white t-shirt. And so I think that began my journey in fashion and just really trying my best to present myself well. You know what I mean? And I would say in the last 3 years, I've really given myself to the art of fashion. It's more than just buying cool clothes and trying to be hip or trendy in itself. It's almost like a really nice painting, or when someone goes to buy their home, they really want it to be a certain thing, or they want upstairs or downstairs, or they want architecture to look a certain way. And I think the same way about fashion. It's more so of the art of the clothes, the fabrics, the shapes, and like understanding the designers and their stories and how hard it is to create a garment. I mean, it's very, very hard and very, very, very difficult. So I feel like I've gotten intrigued with the actual art of fashion, and it's been about 2 years of me just really diving deep in that, and also using my gifts, my talents, all that God has put inside of me, light that He's put inside of me, to go into that world and make a difference, and contribute with actual knowledge, and not just trying to convert or do anything weird like that. Like just went in there after studying the fashion industry, and also knowing my word and knowing who God has placed me on this earth to be, and knowing who my creator is, and we master to, it's all going to be fine. You know what I mean? We're meant to go into all the world.
Yes. We are.
I like, if they say preach the gospel, I'm like, yes, and be the gospel. Be Jesus' hands and feet everywhere you go. Be a light and be kind everywhere you go.
I love it. I love it. And just seeing, from what little bit we saw from the clip, it looks like everyone was just enjoying the new single as well. And again, just being able to get into that room and get into that space and being able to be the gospel and minister in that way in song. I mean, that's huge, right? Because doors that God will open for you to be able to get there and do what you're doing, everyone else doesn't have those opportunities. So I think that's, that's amazing in and of itself too. So
for sure, Vogue has been the most incredible supporters. I mean, they've been supporting me for a while now, along with Dolce & Gabbana, and they asked me to perform there, and I was so honored. And they really love the music, and they love me and my manager Sabrina, and it's just been an incredible relationship, for sure.
That's a beautiful thing. And then I wanted to ask too, even with the single, the single, is going, we're vibing out. Then you kind of, towards the ending, you switched it up a little bit, and us, you throw in, stuff, bottle to Sabra. So what's that about? What's that about there?
Okay, so most of my friends are Latin, and my best friend Aaron Moses, Aaron Chiboga is his real name. He's gonna kill me for saying that. And Omar Fontanez, which he goes by Kid. He's gonna kill me for saying that. But and his wife Ibelisa. These are all my best friends. These are the people I hang out with the most. So I love the Latin community, everything about it, the culture in and of itself, the family, how they just really value the family. And I've always been attracted to their language because it's so romantic, and it's easier to hear, them sing sometimes than, because it's so beautiful and romantic. And so I decided in this album to infuse Latin culture in a lot of songs that you guys haven't heard yet, but definitely Hide Me just felt like I was, in that mode. So I'm like, oh, tu sombra. And like my manager, Sabrina, we kept going back and forth because I wanted to say it right. I wanted to make sure it made sense to everybody that heard it. So yes, sir, Under Your Shadow.
Yes, yes. Well, it made sense. And the minute I heard them, like I ran off to Google. I'm like, okay, translate. And oh, dip shot. I don't know. I saw what he did there.
Good.
That is great. And and you also too, you made a post recently, and you said, if you're still alive and breathing, God's not done with you yet. He's still, take it from you, God's not done with you yet. So how much more do those words kind of resonate with you right now in those seasons when you were writing that out?
I mean, God has shown me so much right in the last 3 months. But one of the major things he's shown me is that he is my source and resource. It can look like you're at the end. It can look like it's over. You don't know where to go. You don't know where to run. You know what I mean? And he showed me in those moments, I am the source and the resource. I'm the water and the well. And when you are weak, I'll be your strength. I am the ultimate. You know what I mean? And so I feel like I wanted my fans and supporters to hear me encourage them in that way, that I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what the doctor says. I don't care what, the lawyer says. I don't, even if it's just your children have gone wayward or you lost your job or whatever the case may be, the end all be all is God, is Jesus. And so he is the source and the resource. And it can look one way and he can bring it back tenfold. I feel like, after I took that break, I had before almost paled in comparison to what God has given me today. Like my peace of mind, my strength back, my stamina where I love to work. I feel stronger than ever and more focused than ever. And not only the opportunities he's given me, but just what he's done for me, as a human being, as his son, Dante Bowe. He'll give it back to you in ways you never thought you needed it.
Man, I believe that 100%. And in terms of all the new things that he's doing, the new label that you're going to be releasing this new album on there, so let me know, what is going to be the name of this new album? So I'm not just reading the blogs, I'm hearing it directly.
Yes, the new album is entitled Press Play.
Love it.
It's going to be entitled Press Play. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but also more than that, after me and the team listen back to the music, it just all makes you want to dance. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like, motivated for the next day. And I feel like Press Play was such an appropriate title just because it's truly about, positivity and music, combined. We really made it a musical album, an album that, has a lot of rhythmic stuff in it and a lot of African influence. We have a guy that came and spoke in African just on the beat. Yeah, we've really taken our time. We're still taking our time with it, but yeah.
And clearly you don't have to answer, but is there any collabs going to be there? You want to leak a name or two? Is there any? No. Okay. I had to act. I know the manager wouldn't allow you to, but I had to act.
He wouldn't care, but I just, it's like, it's going to be a great album.
Listen, man, everything else right now we've been waiting and loving and enjoying, so I'm sure it's going to be a great album. I know we're almost coming up on time, but Grammy season, 2 nominations, you're there, super, super happy for that. You're going to be going there, I'm sure. I can't wait to see what the fashion side is going to be, but just you in that space, knowing, everything that you've worked hard for, and you're there celebrating at the Grammys, we're going to be rooting you on. Hopefully you come away, with some wins again. How excited are you just to be back there again this year?
I'm grateful. I didn't expect to be nominated this year because I hadn't released my own album. I haven't released anything since Circles. And so when I found out some featured songs that I did, were nominated, I felt like, okay, God's doing something this year with the Grammys. You know what I mean? I was super shocked and just grateful, overtaken with gratitude for sure.
Love it. Well, Dante, thank you so much for coming by, for hanging out with us. The new single, Hide Me, the visuals is on, the visuals on YouTube. It's all over. Y'all go ahead, check out the visuals. stream it, download it, do all the things, and keep your eyes on this new album that's going to be coming. Press play. I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to that, and just everything else in general. Dante, as much as other people already know how to find you, if they want to find you and keep track of what's going on, where should they go?
Everything is Dante Bowe, from social medias to my website. So DanteBowe.com, Dante Bowe on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. So
Awesome. Dante, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dante, Sabrina. Take it easy, man. Thanks again.
Peace. Hey, what's up? This is Dante Bowe, and you're watching Gospel Music Buzz.